the crib. We were running through the fields, you had flowers in your hand. We were all chasing phantoms. Baby, you would hold them still and I'd grab on. Yeah, well, if you're scared of the dark, let the rundown street lights be your stars. And then picture swings in the park, and I'll swing with you. Sing it with me. Sing it with me. And we'll go howling at the moon. It's no use living if you're already dead. It's not worth saying if it's already said. Even if it all goes over your head, believe it if you want to. So keep your eyes on the road and your head in the stars. Follow it down the rabbit hole just a little while longer. You can change anything if you want to. Sing it like ooh, if you want to. Sing it like ooh, if you want to. The next time I turn around, you'll have grown into a woman in a single bound. I hope I never take you for granted. Spending time with you is all that I wanted. But I'll go back to when you were small, burning all our favorite records on the CD-ROM. We were splitting headphones in a hammock to a soundtrack we could get lost in. Sing it with me. Sing it with me. And we'll go howling at the moon. It's no use living if you're already dead. It's not worth saying if it's already said. Even if it all goes over your head, believe it if you want to. So keep your eyes on the road and your head in the stars. Follow it down the rabbit hole just a little while longer. You can change anything if you want to. Sing it like ooh, if you want to. Sing it like ooh, if you want to. If you're scared of the dark, let the rundown street lights be your stars. Let them know who we are. Let them shine for you. It's no use living if you're already dead. It's not worth saying if it's already said. Even if it all goes over your head, believe it if you want to. So keep your eyes on the road and your head in the stars. Follow it down the rabbit hole just a little while longer. You can change anything if you want to. Said it's not worth living if you're already dead. It's not worth saying if it's already said. Even if it all goes straight to your head, believe it if you want to. Believe it if you want to.
You're watching Escape Adulthood Live, your number one source for long-lasting, fast-acting, physician-approved adultitis relief.
Welcome to Gallery Night! We're so excited. On this week's show, we're sharing the unlikely and inspiring story behind the newest paintings out of Jason's studio.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. This episode is brought to you by people like Kim Bertraw, Michelle Gurkowski, and Anne Vogel. Their membership in the Wonder and Whimsy Society supports us in this work to fight adultitis. Thank you, guys, and thanks for being here.
Yes, if you'd like to annihilate the adultitis in your life, learn more about our Wonder and Whimsy Society, or be the first to know about our newest offerings, become an insider at escapeadulthood.com/subscribe. Happy Gallery Night!
Happy Gallery Night!
Yay! I'm so excited. We've been just kind of walking on air all day with the excitement in the house. The kids are in the wings ready to jump in, and they're all dressed to the nines. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely. And thank you to everyone who is an insider. As you said,
Yes.
Did you get an email today telling you that this was happening tonight?
This morning.
If you did, that means you're an insider. If not, that means you should be an insider, and you can go to escapeadulthood.com/subscribe to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got some new faces here tonight. It is so great to see so many new people, and of course, the regulars. The Peanut Gallery comes out
Adultitis
strong.
Fighters that come out every Wednesday night. This is a Wednesday night show that we do every single week. Some of you guys, may have seen that we started that in the pandemic. Yeah, we kept it up, and this is our 73rd show. So We're pretty excited to have you here, and we hope you join us again here next week. But we've been talking about the Beatles, and you asked at the beginning, what's your favorite Beatles song? I saw Kristen said Imagine. I mean, who doesn't love that one? That one just puts chills through my whole body. I love that song.
Lola, If I Fell in love with you.
Oh, we're gonna get a little serenade tonight, you guys. Oh,
all you need is love.
Yes, joy. Yes, you're gonna put Beatles on tomorrow. I know you are.
Jen, In My Life, and Baby You Can Drive My Car.
We actually recently watched the Paul McCartney documentary.
Was that Hulu? I think with Paul Rubin.
Super good.
Rubens.
I'm not usually super enthralled in all the but it drew me in. It was really, really interesting to hear all the backstories on a lot of these songs.
Absolutely.
Scott, Yellow Submarine. I think Paul may have said that earlier too. You guys together there, Tom.
Maxwell's Silver Hammer.
Nice.
That's pretty good. That is an underrated one. I think that was a George Harrison written song.
Really?
I think. I'm not sure, but Revolution. It's a good one.
Charles, good to see you.
Really, really good. So so that's why we're talking about the Beatles, because the big song tonight that these paintings were based off of, Brittany nailed it. Here Comes the Sun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to share this. I've been working on a film that we're going to debut in a few minutes here, and I can't wait for you to see it.
How many films have you made, Jason?
0.
Can we just cheers to that? I mean, tinkering, right? That's what we're all about. You guys know that. Just trying new things, trying new mediums. This is a big deal that you, I don't know, gave it. It's risky.
Yeah. Well,
right?
Yeah. Everyone, if people think it is lame, then not great, Bob. But that's what tinkering's all about, Charlie Brown.
Right.
So please, if you get a chance, if you can, please share this right now. We'd love to have people join and learn about this mission to fight adultitis and see this film we're about to debut. Stick around. If you're here right now, stick around to the end. We have a really cool prize.
We kind of upped the ante for the giveaway this week, regulars. So yes,
So this is a canvas reproduction. This is the exact same size as the original, and we are going to be we're going to give this out free as a door prize.
And what does it say? Can you read it?
This one says, "It feels like years since it's been here." And you'll hear a little bit more about this one in the movie, but the concept here, this was a really cool photo that Kim took of the ice crystals. And the thing I loved about this was how sometimes when we're in the middle of winter and it's like a big long slog, just looking at it a little differently, the light can go through those ice crystals and completely change how beautiful it is. You can go from this really terrible blizzard of death, and then a little bit of light hitting those snowflakes, and it's magical. And I think life can be like that sometimes. So stick around for that. We're going to be giving that given away at the end, and then after the film, the auction will open. So we have 24 very unique items that will be on auction online. Starting after the show here tonight, and
the kids are going to help bring some of those items over to us and kind of show us what things are up for auction for the next few days, right?
Yep, it'll be going through the end of Sunday, so hopefully you'll get a chance to check that out. And I think that's the biggest
Is
part,
there
would you
anything
say?
you want them to know about the film before we start? Because it is going to be about a half hour. Jason, like we said, there's hours logged into this project, so we hope you really enjoy the heart that he put into this. It really is a gift from your heart to everyone who's going to view it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
is there anything you wanted to not tell them, but anything that you want to express?
Little backstory, I guess. So these paintings were the first paintings that I did in this new house here in Sheboygan, and they're all our backyard. And I told the story. I actually shared these paintings for the very first time this summer at the Escape Adulthood Summit. So those of you who were at the Escape Adulthood Summit this year, you got to see these originals up and close. You got to see the brush strokes, and I told the story behind them. And this is kind of similar to that, but it is different because I kind of figured when you're in person live telling a story, there's something about that's a little engaging about someone being literally right in front of you, telling the story, looking you in the eyes. You can see the paintings right there. And I thought if I just tried to recreate that here, it would be kind of boring. It wouldn't be quite as engaging. So I started to think about it. I'm like, well, what if I tinkered around with creating a little film that tells the story, but in a more dynamic way? And so I got a chance to play around with not only the visuals of the paintings, but music and different footage and tell the story and I think is a pretty cool way. I'm excited for you to share it. And it does tell the story about how we got this dream house, this 20-year dream that seemed very unlikely many times. But what I really tried to do is I really wanted to make this something that as you're watching it, I hope you will see yourself in it. Maybe you're in a spot right now where you feel like your dream is a million miles away. Maybe you feel like you don't even have a dream. Maybe after this last 2 years that we've been through, your hope has taken a hit. And my goal with this film was not just to tell our story, me and Kim, but to tell all of our stories. Because we've all been in those places where the darkness seems overwhelming and you wonder if the sun is ever going to come out again. So with that, I think it's time to roll it, and hope you enjoy it.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Remember? That's all we need to get an upper hand on the coronavirus. Just 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Well, that's also how long it took for politics to get involved and for us to learn that experts aren't always right or trustworthy. 9 months. After COVID-19 came tearing into our lives like a freight train, making very clear it was going to disrupt everything for much longer than 2 weeks, I did some math. I figured that if all of our income dried up, our speaking engagements were going up in smoke, we could last about 9 months before we'd be forced into bankruptcy. One dream. Ever since Kim and I met as teenagers, one of our biggest dreams was to own a lake house. Early on in our marriage, I sketched a simple floor plan of our dream home. We wanted to be surrounded by tall pine trees and for the lake to be big enough that we could hear crashing waves. We hoped for lots of natural light, a place for campfires, a cozy library filled with books, and a big art studio where I'd create masterpieces. 20 years. After 2 decades of toil, the dream felt as out of reach as ever. I considered letting it go once and for all only a month before the pandemic hit, and when it did, I was too concerned with calculating doomsday scenarios to even consider I'd be sitting in my dream home on Lake Michigan less than 1 year later. But that's exactly what happened. This is the story of that improbable journey and how the Beatles song "Here Comes the Sun" turned out to be a fortuitous anthem for us and inspired the first series of paintings to come out of my studio. At the start of the pandemic, like most people, I was afraid. We didn't know much about the virus or how it would affect our hospitals, communities, or economy. Many people claim they're not creative. Well, we're all Picassos when it comes to imagining apocalyptic worst-case scenarios. The news was relentlessly terrifying as they seemed to report rising COVID deaths with glee. There was a lot of uncertainty, which breeds anxiety and fear. I felt like a fawn in the gaze of a predator, weak, helpless, and overmatched. The only thing that got me through the pandemic was my faith. Every morning, I parked myself in a chair in my office for an hour, lit a candle, opened my Bible, continuing a routine I had started about 7 months earlier. I fancy myself a professional reminderer. In order to be that, I need daily reminders from God. He assured me that even though I felt weak, He was bigger than me, and He reminded me of the certainty of His promises. I have a practice I call reverse journaling. Every once in a while, I read through journals from years past and then write about observations I make or common threads I notice. I'll be honest, it's not pretty. I look back at old journals and it's embarrassing. I'm often ashamed about how easily I make molehills into mountains, how quickly I can go from courage to fear, how often I need rescuing. And yet, through it all, God remains constant. He never seems to lose His patience with me. Rereading these journals, it's a good reminder of all the times I've been taken care of, and that just because something seems like the end of the world doesn't in fact make it so. Seeing how often good things have come out of seemingly hopeless situations gives me confidence as I go forward. As the years go by, even though the progress seems painfully slow, I find myself a little less likely to freak out when things go sideways. Like during a pandemic. The practice of reverse journaling uncovered a gem I wrote on a retreat in November of 2019, a few months before said pandemic. I wrote, "I suspect the lake house is coming. We will know it when we see it, and when it's ready, it will come quickly." I also wrote, "One of God's favorite games is surprise." Obviously, that seemed like pure nonsense when everyone started stockpiling toilet paper. Fortunately, as we drove home from our last in-person gig before the lockdown, Kim and I determined that the business we were really in, the one we've always been in, is spreading hope and encouragement to others. We realized that giving live speeches was only one way of doing that, and our mission was about to become more important than ever. We turned on the video camera on St. Patrick's Day and did our first live episode of Coffee with Kim and Jason. Our goal was to let people know that they were stronger than they thought, and that good would come from this terrible thing. Eventually, that led to our weekly show. I spent time in the studio, painting. The seed for this one had been planted in my sketchbook years earlier. The pandemic was time for it to blossom as the reminder that light can still be found during times of great darkness.
It's been a long, cold, lonely winter.
The pandemic was unique in that we all were experiencing it at the same time. But we weren't experiencing it in the same way. Some suffered tremendous loss. Some were relatively unaffected, save for a lot more time on their hands. And some people thrived in unexpected ways, finding themselves in the right place at the right time. There were complicated feelings of guilt, jealousy, fear, anger, and grief. So in a real way, even though we were all in the middle of the same storm, we were experiencing it from different boats. That can be very lonely. In the 20 years of building our business, Kim and I often felt very lonely. As the years rolled on and discernible progress was hard to identify, we regularly went to bed wondering if we were fooling ourselves. It was terribly lonely seeing peers and family members building homes and starting families while we were still childless, sweating away in a small apartment and mounting debt. We didn't know many entrepreneurs, we didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't know if we were headed in the right direction. From day one, we've always felt called to this life. We were willing to work as a team and make sacrifices. We lived on rice and beans. In our case, it was Hamburger Helper. We did it without air conditioning, cable, and up until this year, 21 years into our marriage and with 3 kids, we only had one car. We got a lot of encouragement to keep going, but encouragement doesn't pay the bills. Our lack of financial success made us wonder if maybe we had misinterpreted the message. We grew slowly each year, but never made big enough strides to feel like our dreams were anywhere near coming true. It was easy to wonder if we'd set up camp on Idiot Island and everyone else was secretly rolling their eyes at our stubborn naivete. It was a very, very long winter, and we spent a lot of time in the shadows. Those shadows represent the hard times in which we learn the lessons that take us from good to great. Those hard times are what gave us the grit to not just survive in the pandemic, but thrive. Our thriftiness, our teamwork, and our tenacity all proved to be essential tools for our greatest test. This painting prompts us to consider that the shadows prove the sunshine. They are a testament that light exists. The shadows remind us that they have much to teach us, and the light reminds us that even though we may feel lonely, we're never alone. I consider myself a naturally optimistic person. We were in a period of darkness, but I was confident that the sun would shine again. Clearly, I was naive, but I was convinced that the pandemic would be ancient history by the summer, maybe even Easter. Well, eventually, however, there came a point when the normal we longed to return to felt more like a mirage, a relic of some distant past. We bandied about the term new normal and wondered if that meant a complete reset of our economy, a permanent end to live events, or perhaps wearing masks forever. When I was in my teens and early 20s, I had big dreams and boundless optimism. I had a shiny new faith, ready to set the world on fire. Yet year by year, failures mounted. Initiatives often underperformed expectations, making me feel like a failure. Growth was happening, but it was painfully slow. That exuberant, childlike faith went dormant. I could feel myself growing more cynical. My old dreams were getting smaller and no new ones were allowed in. I was about to call a search party for that missing person, the optimistic dreamer I used to be. Maybe I was just naive back then, I considered. Maybe this is the new normal and I just need to get used to it. In early February of 2020, a little over a month before the lockdowns, I spent a lot of time journaling. I got as close as I ever had to giving up the dream once and for all. I considered it may have just been the silly fantasy of a naive dreamer. I wondered if it was actually preventing me from enjoying my life, maybe even distracting me from time spent with my kids. I thought of downsizing the dream, rationalizing I didn't really want it anymore after all. It seemed possible that my family would be better off if I just gave up this stupid dream. I was extremely close to putting a flag in the ground and declaring a new normal. Close, but I just couldn't do it. Even though I may have wished God would tell me I was on the wrong path, confirming I had missed the signs and needed to abandon this wild goose chase once and for all, He never did. Somehow I sensed and believed that the dream had been planted there by Him. From my journal, written on a balcony in Florida, quote, "As it stands now, affording the dream home with taxes seems impossible with our current business model. I can't say I've ever felt you telling me to abandon my dream of the lake home. Quite the opposite, in fact, as I've always gotten the sense that it'll come in due time. My dream, not to mention the oppressive slog of the pandemic and the civil unrest raging throughout the country, had grown heavy, like a thick blanket of wet snow. But light has a way of illuminating the hidden beauty of something we'd otherwise overlook. That dense blanket of snow is made up of tiny crystals that shine like diamonds when light passes through. It often becomes a matter of where we choose to focus. Do we dwell on the burdensome darkness or search for the silver linings? As for me, I kept my daily appointments with God. I turned off the news. I stopped doom scrolling on social media. And on May 14th, 2020, when it was obvious that the pandemic was here for the long haul, I doubled down on optimism. I started an affirmation journal in which I wrote 15 times every day, I, Jason Kotecki, will own a dream home on a lake. This painting was inspired by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who noted, "The earth laughs in flowers." The older I get, I never cease to be surprised by the power of small things, like flowers or a smile. That was one of the worst things COVID-19 stole from us. The ability to connect through a smile. Wearing masks may have helped limit the spread of the virus, but it also created an emotional and psychological distance between us. It took away a bit of our humanity and made it easier to treat each other accordingly. I remember visiting stores in which everyone wandered the aisle like zombies. Encounters with checkout personnel were cold and distant. One can debate the value of the trade-off, but it's hard to argue how glorious it felt when the masks finally started to come off. The moment I most treasure was standing shoulder to shoulder with 37,000 baseball fans at Wrigley Field, singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" during the 7th inning stretch of a Cubs game on Father's Day in 2021. It was glorious to see the smiles of the ballpark employees, excited to have people back in the stadium. The families catching a glimpse of themselves on the center field video board between innings. The fans grinning ear to ear with pride after catching a foul ball. The proud grandfather and grandson usher team we met. And the little boy 2 rows ahead of us playing peekaboo with Kim. It was pure joy to see smiles returning to people's faces. Oh, the power of small things. How many monumental moments in our lives hinge on small things, seemingly inconsequential decisions and actions. Even if we desire to move mountains, we often have little choice but to do so one boulder at a time. When the audience for a speech you've been preparing is much smaller than you expected, you focus on the ones who showed up and do your best. When someone needs help and you feel totally overmatched, you do the only thing you can and just listen. When you're at the end of your rope and feeling hopeless, you give it one more day. Even though it felt like 20 years had yielded very little progress, it became clear that the little things we'd been doing were adding up. Our efforts, tinkering with the live show, started bringing in real virtual gigs. The tribe we had spent 2 decades cultivating was stepping up to support us. We had a front row seat to witness the universal power of compound interest. Little things add up. It's a reminder for all of us. Persist. Keep showing up. Keep sowing kindness. Never again will I underestimate the power of a smile. One smile sparks 2, which leads to 3, and before you know it, you've started a tidal wave of laughter.
I feel that ice is slowly melting.
The first season of the hilarious and heartwarming series Ted Lasso premiered during the pandemic, becoming a word-of-mouth hit and serving as a much-needed balm. In the final episode, the optimistic nature of the title character played by Jason Sudeikis comes to a head against the pessimistic, long-suffering fan base of the English football team he coaches. In an attempt to shield themselves from the pain that comes from raising expectations only to lose, they live by the motto, "It's the hope that kills you." But Coach Lasso offers the truth. It's the lack of hope that comes and gets you. We all love springtime, when hope springs eternal with daisies and rainbows. But what happens when you're in the middle of a bleak winter with no hope in sight? Look again. Melting ice is a sign of hope. It's a sign that you're one day closer to spring. The first 10 years of our business felt like one long, never-ending winter. I dreamed of making a living, of earning enough money to move out of our apartment, start a family, and live on a lake one day. But most days, the bank account, kitchen shelves, and credit card bills told a different story. On those days, I had to dig deep to find any semblance of hope. A $20 greeting card order, a promising lead from a retail store, or an encouraging email from a fan, they weren't breakthroughs that signaled winter was over, but they were signs of hope that we were moving in the right direction and kept me going for one more day. The Venerable Bruno Lanteri said, "Discouragement is the main obstacle in our spiritual lives." In the dark days of winter, I might dream of a green 70-degree day in spring flooded with flowers, But for now, I'll take melting ice. As the dumpster fire that was 2020 moved into its second half, peculiar signs started showing themselves. Our business was on an upswing with a series of brand new revenue streams. A reconnection with a banker friend who offered his professional opinion that our dream home wasn't as far off as we may have believed, and inspired us to take a look at Lake Michigan. We stumbled upon Sheboygan, scheduled some visits, and even began looking at homes. There were never any big breakthroughs. We simply followed arrows that presented themselves. I'll never forget our second visit to Sheboygan. It was just me and Kim there to see a house for sale. We came upon the north side beach and sat together on a bench. Even though there were so many unknowns and roadblocks left to hurdle, as we sat together watching the Great Lakes waves roll in, I had an unmistakable sense of peace as I thought, this is our next home. There was no one clear reason I could point to that statement even being close to true. Heck, the house we just looked at was clearly not for us. But there were hundreds of small reasons. If you're in the middle of one of those long winters, cling to hope. Look for reasons to believe, even if it's just some slowly melting ice. Look for something, anything, that proves you're closer to spring than you were yesterday. Because the truth is, you are.
It seems like years since it's been clear.
We started our business during our first year of marriage. In the beginning, everything seemed so clear. I had started this comic strip called Kim Jason that was obviously going to take the world by storm. It was just a matter of time before we hit the big time. There'd be best-selling books, licensing deals with Hallmark, and calls from Oprah. As you can imagine, based on all I've shared thus far, that clarity faded. The uncertainty of how we'd ever make any of our dreams happen enveloped everything like a ravenous fog. The dream house gradually felt unreachable, impossible. As humans, we can't help but try and figure everything out. Certainty gives us confidence. But when we lose clarity, we get flustered and we're tempted to abandon hope. Instead of jumping ship when the fog rolls in, stay in the boat and move toward the light. Have faith, which is simply the confidence of what you hope for and the assurance about what we do not see. Even as bright spots popped up during the pandemic, the way forward always felt murky at best. All we could do was rely on God to guide our path as we did our best to follow the arrows we felt He was providing. Even now, it's difficult to describe how it all happened, but after 20 years of haze, light burned through the fog and a path suddenly illuminated in front of us. A series of unlikely events conspired on our behalf, and we were led to establish new revenue streams, discover our dream home in a new city, sell our home, secure favorable financing, and move our home and business in a matter of months. I'm still awestruck and a bit dizzy from all that transpired, for it was a bumpy road. At first, we thought about buying land, but really good lakefront property is hard to find, and the skyrocketing construction prices put that option out of reach. We spent a lot of time scrolling Zillow looking for the right fit. Nothing stood out. Then, one day, I was on a walk and felt a whisper to look with new eyes at a house we disregarded several times. Upon further review, it occurred to me that all the things we hated about the house, the furniture, window treatments, some carpeting, were easily changeable. The foundation was actually pretty good once we pushed past the old lady interior decorating vibe. Our newfound hope died quickly, as we learned it had an accepted offer and would be taken off the market before we could even see it. More Zillow. A few weeks later, we uncovered some possibilities and scheduled 3 showings. At the last minute, our realtor told us the deal on the original house fell through, giving us a total of 4 to check out. That one turned out to be the last showing of the day, and it was the one we fell in love with. Even the kids were smitten. It was perfect. Kim and I told the realtor that we wanted to write an offer without even discussing it. We went to lunch to consider our price, and we overheard "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles. Choking back tears, it felt like a sure sign that the fog was finally lifting. Shortly after we submitted our offer, we learned that we were in a bidding war. The sellers came back and asked for our best offer with as few contingencies as possible. We upped the price as far as we could and took out the home inspection contingency because my dad, who had construction experience, agreed to drive up to give it a good look. Upon seeing the house himself, he noted that the backyard looked exactly like my Hope in the Darkness painting. You know, the one I'd created 6 months earlier before ever even seeing this place. As we finished the inspection, the sun broke through the cloudy sky and I was sure that this was the one. We took my parents out to lunch afterward, and wouldn't you know it, "Here Comes the Sun" was playing again. Our hopes were sky high as we hurried to put in our second and best offer. The sellers came back asking us to take out the only contingency we had left, the one requiring the sale of our home. It was frustrating because we'd already given them our best offer just as they'd asked. And we were confident our home would sell quickly, but we'd also heard horror stories of people falling into financial ruin because they'd been forced to carry 2 mortgages. It was tempting, but I knew what I had to do. As the protector of my family, I just couldn't put them at risk like that. Mere inches from a 20-year dream, I had to make a hard decision. Sad, sick, and more than a little angry, I told the sellers we couldn't afford to budge. I knew it was a potential death knell. We heard back within a few hours that the sellers had accepted the other offer. You probably already know that the biggest tears come from a broken heart. I wrote this in my journal. It hurts so bad to be so close to a 20-year dream come true and miss out like this. It feels like we're farther than ever now, with winter coming and the ideal purchasing window closing so soon. I can't explain it. The stars seem to align so perfectly. This is why they call it faith, I suppose. I can't imagine any good or anything better coming from this, but that's irrelevant. Trusting God when all hope seems lost is true faith. I'm not writing the story. He is. And His ways and His thoughts are so much above my own. Thy will be done, Lord. To whom would I go? In November, with the election drama at a fever pitch, Kim started getting whispers of a Sheboygan surprise. With nothing to lose, we started praying for it as a family and kept taking the baby steps that presented themselves. My streak of writing in my affirmation journal remained unbroken. We signed on with a realtor to begin the process of selling our house, but there were no lake homes available in Sheboygan. A few weeks later, a promising one popped up and we went to take a look. It checked a lot of boxes, but it was way over our budget, even with a generous loan Kim's parents offered us. We attempted to bridge the gap by writing a heartfelt letter and offering them the first original painting that would come out of my studio. The next day, we went to a diner for breakfast, and again, Here Comes the Sun played. The sellers came back with a generous counteroffer, but it was still more than we can afford. We had to stick to our final offer, which led to a bad night of sleep that I likened to Christmas Eve, except you don't know if Santa will bring gifts or murder your family. We were convinced that them saying yes would definitely qualify as a Sheboygan surprise. They did not. I began to wonder if this damn Beatles song was cursed. It felt downright mean. Turns out, it was right all along. It was merely periodically popping up as a reminder. Suddenly, we got word that the deal was crumbling on the original house. The perfect one with the backyard that looked like one of my paintings, the one we'd already missed out on twice. We decided to put in a preemptive offer to put ourselves in a good position in case it came back on the market. On November 24th, almost a month after our soul-crushing loss, we got word that our offer was accepted. Apparently, the sellers were worn out from all the busted deals because it was for less than our original offer, and they kept in all of our contingencies. and it happened exactly 1 year to the day that I had written in my journal, "I suspect the lake home is coming. We will know it when we see it, and when it's ready, it will come quickly." Dominoes fell quickly after that. Our house sold in 3 days for over asking price. Kim and I drove up to Sheboygan for the final walkthrough and the closing on a chilly gray January day. When we emerged from the title company after signing all of the paperwork and began walking to our car, we noticed clouds had dissipated to reveal a bright blue sky. Seemingly on cue, the seller's realtor opened the door and exclaimed, "Looks like the sun came out for you guys." Hopefully it's now clear why I wanted to create a series of paintings inspired by the famous Beatles song. Each one features a different view from our new backyard. One thing I learned from the pandemic of 2020 is that darkness shall not overcome the light.
Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
And so here we are, hopefully nearing the end of a global pandemic. Vaccines are available to all who want them. The masks are coming off. The fear is subsiding, and we have an opportunity for not just a new normal, but a better one. But the darkness, it'll return. It'll look different than one we just experienced, but night always comes. At the edge of our property, perched at the top of a bluff and overlooking the vast grandeur of Lake Michigan, is a wooden swing. My son Ben helped me build it, and Kim and I spent a few hours together sealing it from the elements. I've taken up calling it the healing swing. We've had many guests park themselves there for a good spell, and it always delivers what's needed. A peaceful respite, a font of good ideas, a refreshing, soul-cleansing cry. Life is filled with mystery, much of it too big for us to understand. In our lifetimes, we suffer excruciating heartache and unspeakable tragedy. Just when I think I have things figured out, some new event reminds me of just how little I know. I live in a perpetual state of having more questions than answers. I've often thought of the tide as the heartbeat of the earth, and you always feel better when you slow yours down to match the rhythmic pulse of the waves. The swing is a great place to slow your heartbeat down to its natural state. I can go sit there when my world is in turmoil. The rhythmic beat of the waves and the cyclical nature of the sun remind me that there is an order to it all. I'm assured that there's meaning and a plan to all of it, even if it's too big for me to understand. That swing is like a front row seat to the mystery of creation and the secrets it contains. From that wooden perch, one can observe the ever-changing nature of the sky while maintaining a sense of certainty that the sun will emerge from the horizon at a specific time tomorrow morning. The majestic beauty resounds with the message of the Creator, who reminds us that the sun is coming and offers comfort in our present darkness by declaring, "And I say, it's all right."
Oh, you guys, it's just so neat to be able to see a reaction and share this. I've been bawling my eyes out watching the previews the last couple of weeks, as you can imagine. But I told Jason I couldn't tell if it's because it's our story. Like, will it touch? I think it'll touch other people as profoundly. But it's neat to see it resonate.
Yeah, it was nice to see all the nice comments coming in throughout and after. It just means a lot to me that you guys were here and enjoyed it and shared your thoughts. I'm open to if anyone has any questions about anything, or let me just see what else we've got going on here in the comments. I think I put this up already, but Ron says his favorite quote was "Shadows prove there's a sun."
Yeah, I love that
which
too,
is
Ron.
good.
Yeah,
Gail, I like this. I matter and I am not alone.
Yeah, when that line struck me again this time when you were talking about the sitting on the swing is like a front row seat to the natural order of things, and that there's a rhythm to the sun and there's a rhythm to the waves and how it's all connected, and you just feel like you're a part of a bigger plan, right? Which I know Gal would kind of come from that perspective as well.
Yeah. Courtney says, I can relate to manifesting your dream. I'm living in the house I dreamed of as well. It wasn't easy to get here, but it was worth it. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that,
So
Courtney.
exciting.
Kate has a question. She says, "When can I watch it again?" We'll be putting it online right after the show.
Yeah, it'll be live.
So you
not
guys,
live, but
you
the replay.
saw it first. So yeah, I love when it gets up for you guys to share it with anyone else that you think might be encouraging for. Courtney says, I'm an amazing storyteller. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And Courtney and her mom were at a Wonder Night a couple of years ago. I remember sharing that special night with you. So this has kind of been a morph of, Wonder Nights over the years. Those of you who didn't know about Wonder Nights, a couple of years ago, we were doing in-person events where Jason would share the artwork and the stories behind them. Last year, of course, was virtual, our first gallery night, and here we are again. And I don't know, it's kind of neat to reach people who couldn't normally come to the Midwest in November, right?
Yeah, to be able to come to a 3 or 4 hour event in a specific geographic location. It's kind of cool to be able to have this open for people who are open to, from wherever, from your couch, hopefully with some wine or whatever you have. Let's see. There was something I saw here that was really... I'm going to put, here we go. Kelsey, I'll be having my hubby watch it. Small business life is no joke. You got that right. It can feel very lonely, but glad to know we're not alone. Good.
I wish we would have known each other 15, 20 years ago, Kelsey, because there is a definite loneliness at the beginning, especially that we referred to. Mm-hmm. So what's the rest of the night? Father Dave here. I'm honored that you asked me to bless the house after you acquired it. Yeah, that was a very special thing that we were able to do after that. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that for us.
Yeah. So what's next? Well, let's
the peanut gallery over here.
Yeah,
they're so patient, you guys. They look so nice. If only you could see them. Should we show them?
I suppose.
And now a word from our sponsors.
All right, well, if everything went according to plan, the auction should now be open. Unfortunately for you watching, all 4 members of this family decided that the paintings that we shared tonight need to stay in our home. Yeah. So the originals are not for sale.
I think you guys can understand that now, having heard the connection to the story is the house, and the story of getting the house. They belong in the house. So I know we've got a couple people kind of push back on that, and I apologize. But we've really put our heads together creatively to come up with some really neat, different ideas for you to have the artwork without, being disappointed that it's not an original, right?
Yeah. So one of the things I really put a lot of effort into coming up with some really cool things. Again, knowing the originals wouldn't be for sale. This is one. We have 3 of these. They're called glass albums. And they kind of look like an iPhone screen, like iTunes or something. And we've got the artwork on it. I have a picture of this because they haven't arrived yet from the manufacturer.
Did you guys know that there's kind of delays going
a little bit
in the world?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. So those are still to come. But I wanted to show what they look like. But,
so tell me more about this, because I don't understand this product as much. And Elle asked me about it, and I was like, I think we'll learn more about. Yeah.
So this is an 8x10 piece of acrylic glass. So it's almost unbreakable. It's clear. And it's got the artwork on it, kind of like on your MP3 player, your iPhone, whatever, where it's got
like
the album.
Mimicking the screen.
It's like the album art, yeah. And then it's got Here Comes the Sun, the Beatles on it. Okay. And it will come with a little acrylic stand. So it'll be kind of a nice little little display piece. That's very unique. 8x10. 8x10. And again, most of these things I'm showing you here tonight, there's only going to be one. There's only... This is it. So these aren't going to be on our store on the lemonade stand. That being said, I did want to tell a few things. Since we don't have the originals, we did make an effort to have open edition canvas reproductions of every print. So this is as close as you can possibly get to the original. Yeah. And it's the exact size that the originals are in. You can order them. They're, like I said, they're open edition. On that note, we also did limited edition prints. Looks like this. And there are 24 of each of these. So these are 11 by 14. They are hand numbered in the series. So this is 15 out of 24, signed by me. And we only have 24 of each of the paintings of these. So these are collectible. We sold some of these already at the summit, so I don't know how long these will go, but
they're sharp. I like how it has this white matte kind of thing going on.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. So if there's a particular one you just love, we have those available as prints.
So those aren't actually not in the auction.
Those aren't in the auction. You can just buy them. You can just buy those. Stand. Those could be a good gift. So maybe that could be something you get a print or a canvas for someone and then share the video with them, something like that. But we've got some really cool auction items. Yes, you can go to the website and check them out. But I thought I'd give you a quick little look. This one might be one of. I'm going to say this every time. This might be one of my favorites. So this is pretty cool.
It's fun picking this stuff out, you guys.
There's only one of these. This is the Here Comes the Sun, but inside.
Oh yes.
Oh,
we could have previewed this on a prior show.
This is an actual vinyl of Abbey Road.
I guess I did.
And fans would know that side 2, Here Comes the Sun, is on here.
It's actually the first record we bought.
It is. It's
in our home.
It's the
not
first.
Not this one, but that's this album.
This album.
Yes.
Yep. So this is a legit, real Beatles album, the Abbey Road with "Here Comes the Sun" on it, and the back has all of the other paintings on there, and of course it has the song list. Come Together, Maxwell's Silver Hammer, Octopus's Garden,
some classics on there.
Golden Slumbers. These are ones that people mention at the top of the show. So that is one of the things on auction.
If you're looking for an excuse to buy a record player, here you go. You're welcome, guys.
All right, girls. Can you bring over the wood prints?
Oh yes, the wood. See, this is one of the advantages of not doing just the originals this year. I think we did more of this kind of thing.
Come say hi. What's your name here? Virginia? Virginia Rose. She is my Rose. Thank you for that. And Lucy here. This is the oldest. I'm going to scooch in here, Luce. There we go. Lucy.
Squeeze them in. Squeeze them in. Yay.
All right. So what we have here, one of the items is a set of all 9. I feel like I'm on QVC.
I know, especially with that thing on the bottom.
I know, right? A set of all 9 paintings from the series on a wood print. So you can actually see the wood grain through. But it's still got the really bright colors. But there's a really cool wood vibe going on. And this auction item is all 9 of them. So you can see on the website what it looks like. You can put them all like in a square kind of. And they look really cool.
Show them how the back works too. It's
so they come. There's a little heart. Oh, a little fun fact. Yeah. Every single piece of art in the series has a heart hidden inside of it. So I encourage you to see if you can find them all. But yeah, there's a little. This makes it real easy to hang. So that'll be easy. All right. Ben, can you bring over the blanket with the threads? So this is a woven blanket. This is magic to me. I don't know how this.
I am blown away that you could just have this piece of art that's totally turned into...
Here's my main man. Yeah. What's your name?
Ben.
This is Ben. Hello, Ben. All right, so this is a woven blanket. Yeah, here we go.
Spilling our champagne.
Again, only one of these. Only one. But I love being able to put my art on cool
Which way
stuff.
are we going here? Oh, there we go.
The bottom. Okay.
All right. Here we go, guys. Right?
So this is the a woven blanket. Here comes the sun.
It's got cool. I love the colors on the bottom. It's really bright there.
I mean, it's just like green, blue, yellow,
colors.
red, black, and white thread.
Yeah.
And somehow it looks like the painting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good favor. I'll fold it up later. It'll be packaged nicely.
Fine.
Okay, girls, how about those metal prints? So you guys remember we had the wood prints that we just showed you, but we also have same thing, 8x8, set of 9, and these are pretty rad.
Thank you, Dorothy. Yeah, these are sharp. Oh, and literally, I mean, they are sharp on the edges.
So
too.
these are metal.
Good job being careful, girls.
These are just 2 of them, but again, you get all 9 in this set, and they are, again, there's easy to hang.
And just for comparison's sake, the size difference, right? So here are the open, what did you call it? The
open edition
canvases, right? And so the size, if you're looking to get more than one, obviously those come in a group of 9, but just to kind of look at wall space, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right, Ben, how about the other 2 blankets? We got 2 other blankets now. These are fleece blankets.
Oh, yes.
And I like how these...
He's petting them as he comes over.
All right, so we've got 2 fleece blankets. So you can see here, it's that colored on the one side, soft as a baby's butt on the other.
Oh, yes.
And soft as Ben's butt.
Maybe we could try to get you on QVC. I think this is like a hidden talent.
I don't know. I'd have to ask my mom. She would be the expert. All right, so this is the one that's inspired by Ralph Waldo Emerson's quote, "The smiles returning to their faces." And it's got the neat sunset or sunrise on there. This is a good colorful one. That was one of my favorite ones to paint.
We put that on our couch to take a picture, and I didn't want to take it off.
I didn't want to take it.
Nope.
Now, this one I kind of pictured as a really cool, like, baby blanket, but it's big. I mean, I think it's... The website says how big they are. I want to say it's like 60 by 80, maybe, or something like that. One. But this is the one with the little deer on it, and it says "Little Darling."
Yeah, that's so cute. We have fawn in our yard, don't we? They're growing up. They don't
What's cool about this, as Kim showed you, the actual originals are 12 by 12. So when you blow this up, you get this really cool canvas texture. You can see the canvas that it was painted on, and it's kind of a really neat texture that adds another layer to it.
It adds a little depth to it, doesn't it?
All right, Kim, you want to talk about this one?
Yes, going back to our little darling, Jason created this very cool necklace, which it's probably not it's gonna be fuzzy, but it is the little darling picture, just like the canvas and the piece of art. And it's just this little tiny square. I would say about an inch square. Would you say?
Yeah, it's an inch square. Yep. It's a nickel pendant, I believe.
And let's see.
Again, the auction has the details.
Mm-hmm. Of course, you can always get your own chain, but you can kind of see the chain that it comes with. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty. Yeah. Yeah.
And
simple.
Again, there's only one. There's only one of these, as is most of these. So what if you want you like all of the paintings, but you don't have the wall space to hang them all up.
Oh, I love this.
We've got a magnet set and all 9 magnets. Mm-hmm. Here's Little Darling. And these are strong magnets, by the way. These are not your wimpy magnets. These are strong. So a set of 9 that you can put in your on your fridge, on your file cabinet, in your cubicle. It's kind of like another fun.
Anymore? Is that like a
maybe they got a file cabinet in their home office, right?
Right.
So that's kind of a fun thing. It's a little bit different take on the set of 9. I was kind of wanted to come up with some different ways to showcase all 9 of the paintings if people wanted the whole set.
Yeah.
Some other things we have online. We have others. We have some original paintings that are for sale. Like literally the only. So if you're like dying for an original painting, we have a couple original paintings up there. Those are the only ones. Everything else is
one
sold.
that's hanging on a wall in our house, and I was like, "What? This is for sale!" You should have seen that. Us and the kids.
Yeah,
so we have a hard time selling originals around here.
Sometimes
especially when they're hanging in the house.
They're waiting for the right person. But we just added 9, so I think you can get over it. What else? Okay, so we also have like a yoga mat with the "Here Comes the Sun." You want to grab that real quick? If you can. I think we have that there. Yeah. Oh, I almost forgot about get the turtle thing ready, Ben.
Ooh, turtle.
All right.
Yes.
This could be a little tricky. You might have to. So here's the yoga mat. Here comes the sun. And yeah, this is a solid.
Yes, it's
heavy duty.
It lays flat
really
very
nice.
easily. It's not one of those that curl at the ends.
Yeah. So yeah, this is another one-off. We did a yoga mat last year that was pretty popular, so I thought I'd try that again.
Oh my gosh, this is
a cool one. All right, this is not related to "Here Comes the Sun," and you'll find out why in a second. So this is
oh my gosh, you guys.
a set where you get to build one of my pieces of artwork. Let me show you the example. If any of you have seen the Celebrate Everything calendar, this painting with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Sea Turtle on it got made into a Lego-like brick.
It's Lego!
Well, it's not Lego.
It's Lego-like.
Lego-like.
Yes. But honestly, when you look at it, it looks just like Lego. It's
so
the same
you
size.
get to build this. So
Yes.
the reason that I didn't do "Here Comes the Sun" is because I couldn't have words in it. But there are 4 base plates. All right. They'll go like this. So this is, I think, 20 by 20 inches. So this is no joke. And it comes with all of these little packs of
So this is either like your
colors.
most exciting thing or your worst nightmare. Like, I don't know if there's any in between.
There are 4,000 pieces.
Are there?
I think it said it would take 2 people
Got a bunch of these.
a couple hours to put it together. But this is how it works. They've got a little sheet, and you put the thing over the top of it, and then you can see what color goes where.
That's cool.
And then they have these little fasteners, so then you put them all together so it all fits into one piece. And
I think Paul really wants this. He
so-
showed interest last time too.
I so wanted to build this to show you what it looked like, but there are
would take
4,000
forever.
pieces in here. I'm like, no.
Ben's like, I could have done that in 2 hours.
That's part of the fun of whoever wins it is they get to put it together. So
Even if you're not going to bid on it, tell us in the comments. Is this like yes, this is so exciting, or you're like, no, you couldn't pay
kill
me
myself.
$1,000 to do that. You know, is this your worst nightmare or your dream?
So that's pretty rad.
Right.
What else? So we mentioned that we told these stories at the Escape Adulthood Summit, and one of the things that we did as a parting gift for all of the attendees is I made a limited edition print that I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it has the sheet music to "Here Comes the Sun" by George Harrison. And it's got an artistic version of the artwork there. So this was a limited edition print of 80. And almost all of them are gone because they were given to Escape Adulthood Summit attendees this year.
That's really
but
sharp.
we did have one here. And I thought, well, let's put it in the auction. So this is, there's not... I think I might have 1 or 2 more up in my office that I'll be keeping.
Well,
but I thought we could put one in an auction here. So that's another thing.
That's a cool one.
What else? Oh, Kim.
I'm starting to read people's comments here about like, do they? Oh, now you're distracting me. Okay, we'll go back to the comments.
This is done. The Ted Lasso, mentioned that in the movie.
Yes.
got a little cameo piece in there.
Yes.
This little pop culture people piece is.
It's so sharp.
I hope this doesn't sell. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Please don't buy this. No. I'm just
Also,
kidding. No, I know Martha had her eye on it.
I put
because
this one
she's
back
a big
up.
fan.
Regretfully.
Oh, yeah. This is pretty epic.
This is Cloud City. So any Star Wars fans.
And by the way, if you are a Mandalorian fan, there's a lot of Mandalorian love in this one.
Yeah, there is. There's the Ugnaught over here, and of course Boba Fett. Yeah, so those are both up for sale. Those are original watercolor paintings. Again, original. We got some other original pieces up there as well. And I guess the last thing to share, but this one-on-one mastermind call. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we were trying to put our heads together on some unique, different offerings. So we thought, we spend a lot of time in this virtual world, right? And we liken it to a really familiar and comfortable place now for ourselves. We have good associations with it. So the idea of like, if you could benefit from spending a little time with us, we would love to mastermind with you, whether it's for your professional side of things or your personal. Obviously, we kind of have our hands in both worlds all the time with what we talk about with clients, but then with our Wonder and Whimsy Society, we're awesomely learning from all of our members, and we'd love to mastermind with you. So that is an auction item, a mastermind session with the two of us, and it will be led by whatever direction you want it to go, and we'll follow your lead, but we would love to help you grow, love to help you see through new eyes, and give you some encouragement for whatever you might be working towards.
Yeah, if you have a dream that you're trying to get off the ground, a business you're trying to start, take to the next level, we have a lot of experience in business. We have a lot of experience homeschooling. I know a lot of people are diving into that over the last year. If you want someone to listen or some advice on that, we'd be happy to share what we know about that. Whatever it is, I don't know if anyone will take us up on it.
Just
but
get to
we
know
thought it'd
you
be kind of
better. I mean, that's kind of fun too. So we do get opportunities in our Wonder Whimsy Society to get to know members more closely. And so, some of you have had that experience with us. Some of you haven't. So we just want to open that up to an opportunity. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see who bids.
Did you say it would be a video call, right?
Yes,
it's
video
a video
call.
one-on-one for an hour. So we're open to that.
Yep.
So please check that out. I wanted to give everyone a chance to just to give you a look here of how this works. So we've got the auction here. I don't know if it's showing it's live yet. I need to restart it. Okay, so it's gone. It just says time remaining. So you obviously, if you're interested in any of the prints or canvases, this part right here will take you right to the store, and you can buy the things that are just up for sale. But here you got the album cover, and we've got detail images here. It tells you all about it. Tells you when the bidding ends. Looks like Kristen Haney's already got a bid on this one. So
hi, Kristen.
That's exciting. Let me see here. I gotta get this out of the way. So I just want to give you, there's that video call, there's those magnets. Here you can get a really good look at this necklace here, which is pretty rad. And Lucy was a model for us to give you an idea of how that.
I bet people could have guessed that was Lucy just based on the T-shirt that she was wearing.
Could be. Cool yard flag that we've got there. That's kind of fun. And here's another thing. I can mention this. So a personalized Celebrate Everything calendar. So what this is that whoever wins this, I will personally draw and customize up to 10 special days. They could be birthdays, anniversaries, vacations, whatever it is. And
you put like a little doodle?
I'll do a little doodle. I may even do some color. Might throw some color in there. So
that's fun.
Kind of a fun little thing.
You don't even personalize our calendar at home.
No, I don't. No.
So this is pretty valuable, you guys. By the way, did you see who popped up in the comments, Jason?
Oh, well, I'm going to have to get this back to back to this.
Oh, that's cool that you can do that.
Right here?
Yeah.
Ah, yes. For those of you who don't know, which most people wouldn't, this is my high school art teacher.
Yes. Mrs. Garrett.
I know. I call her Mrs. Garrett,
I
but
know.
she says
Mr. 45-year-old guy over here, Mrs. Garrett. But that's how it goes. And we were so blessed to have Mrs. Garrett join us for our first Wonder Night in Madison, her and her awesome husband. That was a very, very special night having you there and just sharing our world with you. And obviously you've been to our home studio in Madison prior to that, but it was pretty cool.
When we get this new one set up, I'm going to have you come up and check it out. So
yeah, maybe she help you christen it somehow, right?
Yes.
How do you christen an art studio? You throw
like
watercolors.
Maybe I have to have her
or something?
sign the wall or something like that.
That'd be cool. A little doodle.
All right. Yeah. So we've already got some bids going.
Yay.
Just a reminder again, the auction. Okay. So I guess I can go to that. The auction is going until Sunday night. Sunday, 6 o'clock Central Time.
6 o'clock Central.
We made the mistake last year of making it midnight. So then people were like, "What? Why do I have to get up?"
I think Mary Eichelmeyer told me she was doing the dishes at midnight, just trying to keep herself awake so she could try to get her final bid in. So we are so sorry that was kind of a miss on our part. So 6 p.m. Central Time on Sunday. That's more doable, right?
Yeah, should be. Martha says we're carrying a bunch of calendars with us to North Carolina for Thanksgiving. We'll love handing them out. That's awesome.
Yay.
I really appreciate that. And I tell you what, with the calendars, they're selling fast. Yeah. So, and we have some really good deals if you buy, was it 5? I know if you buy as little as 20, you get it down to $10 a calendar.
Yeah, 60%
which makes it a no-brainer Christmas gift or whatever.
Gift.
So,
yeah,
all right. Well, I think it's about time to do our giveaway.
Yes.
Should we do that?
All right, guys. This is a big giveaway for us.
It is. Yeah. This is a pretty good value here.
Do you know the value?
I
put you on the
100
spot.
something.
Okay.
So this is one of my favorite ones because it's one of the most unusual ones. It feels years like it's been here. So
feels like
years.
Like
years
mm-hmm.
since it's been here.
Yeah.
So here's all you have to do to be eligible to win. You have to still be here, which is a tall order.
Yeah,
I know.
this
We're
is a lot.
clocking in at a little over an hour here. So we're winding up. So this is the last gasp. So where was the most memorable place you've seen the sunrise? We're gonna pick a winner at the end of the show. One person. So let's see what we got here. It's
gonna be neat to see, and this is gonna be a nice little travel log for people, right?
Grand Canyon.
Oh, joy! Oh, that's awesome.
Kotecki's Healing Swing. Forever grateful for your all. That's awesome.
Right.
What do we got? On the Beach in Kauai.
Oh, Wendy, take me with you.
Can't beat that one. John. Hey, John. Lake
good
Michigan.
To see you.
With Kathleen Cummings. Kathleen wrote that one, it looks like.
Nice.
Good to see you guys from a plane window, right, Stacy? That's so cool when you get the opportunity to see
underrated.
a sunrise or a sunset above the clouds. It's pretty cool.
It kind of blows your mind, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Michelle, Church Camp.
Awesome.
Pam, so glad to see you live. Us too, Pam.
Yay.
Glad you could be here.
Thank you for coming, Pam.
Let's see, what else we got? Oh, another Hawaii one. Wow, there you go. Suzanne, Door County over Lake Michigan.
Yes.
That's good.
Good one, Suzanne. Mm-hmm.
Kelsey, I'm not a morning person, but probably in Cancun. First real vacation for me and Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I bet you take a ticket there tomorrow, right?
All right. Rich says Lake Mendota with community of brothers before water skiing. Ooh. Wow, that's unique.
That's awesome.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Jennifer, my sunrise ventures at the summit. I made it multiple days. Yeah, there's a little group of people that got up.
I give you guys credit because those were long days.
Yeah.
Dedicated, Jennifer. That was commitment.
Shannon, Toolik Lake, Alaska. First sunrise after a 3-month day. Yeah, no joke in Alaska. You appreciate them there.
Yeah.
On the ocean on my way to Alaska via a cruise ship. That would be wonderful. Top of Mount Sinai in Israel.
Oh, Oh my goodness.
Man,
that is
that's crazy.
awesome. Wow.
How about Puerto Galera? Is that how you would say that? Philippines?
Wow. Like I said, this is a good little bucket
And then there's
list.
Sheboygan.
Right?
Sheboygan at this year's past summit.
Tracy. Yes.
Camp Sunrises. That's a good
They're
one.
amazing,
That's a good
Jen.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Morocco Desert.
Ooh, a
Come
desert
on. You guys
sunrise?
are just making this up now. You guys are just making
Kristen!
stuff up.
Oh,
That's
that
good.
would be amazing.
But then I just like this.
Hi,
On the
Eric.
dock, growing up in my family cabin, nothing better than sitting on the dock with family in the morning. So I love that. I love the intimate ones,
Simplicity.
the cool, fancy ones. Hey, Marilyn, over the Atlantic Ocean, flying to Ireland.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Tybee Island.
Oh, we were
That's a good
just
one.
there, weren't we? No, just pre-COVID.
We were there fairly
it's
recently.
Pretty. It's very pretty.
Doreen, Grand Canyon on Easter morning.
What?
How about that?
Doreen. That's
Paris.
powerful.
Paris.
Ooh, good to see you, James.
Hotel
Oh, there's so
balcony
many
on
cool
Waikiki.
names. Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
That's reminding me of our hotel balcony in Waikiki rainbow.
The rainbow.
Yes. Yeah. that was
Although it's
pretty
not
cool.
hard to see a rainbow in Hawaii,
No,
as we found
kind
out.
of found out. We were so excited the first 3 rainbows, and
Uh,
then no one looks at the rainbows. We're like, apparently this happens all the time here.
Penny says anywhere holding a baby. Those early mornings. I like that.
Oh, I love that. That's cool.
Backyard
Right.
overlooking an open field with a farm setting.
Ooh, that's
Nice.
nice. Mhm.
We got Surfside Beach. Man, you guys are
Sounds
rocking
wonderful.
it tonight.
Oh, that's your happy place, Tina, isn't
Mike,
it?
out the kitchen window while my children are waking up. Glory of the sunshine versus having to face the challenges of a new day. Great hope and inspiration. Okay, that was Michelle. I'm gonna say it's a little bit too deep for Mike.
No, Mike's deep.
But I give him
We love you,
give him
Mike.
A little,
And Michelle.
I think of him
So
every
glad
time we
you guys
watch
are here
Seinfeld.
tonight.
With my little Kramer impressions. College buddy. Nick, in Dominican Republic.
Ooh, I bet that's wonderful. Nick,
good.
in your new profile picture, I showed the whole family. They're like, is that just Nick, or is that like taking it to the next level? I'm like, I think it's Nick. I think it's Nick.
That's
Nick is
pretty
the
rad.
Nick is the next level, you guys.
LeConte Lodge in the Smoky Mountains.
Ooh, that sounds.
Hey, are we going through the
wonderful.
Smoky
We are
Mountains?
going. Yeah,
we're going to be heading to
Asheville.
Asheville pretty soon for a speaking
We'll have to get
engagement.
some tips from you, Heather.
Taking the family.
Yes.
Lakeside. Oh, I see the sun differently since the summit. That's cool.
Aw, that's cool.
Lakeside on Superior near Lutsen, Minnesota.
Lake Superior is Helen's happy place too, isn't it? I know.
Mhm.
That's pretty awesome. Very cool, Kate. There's some good places.
Oh man, Victoria, Thanksgiving Day with my boyfriend. He died suddenly, unexpectedly a week later. Oh man, what a terrible
Sorry.
and beautiful memory that must be for you.
Wow. There is something about like these moments that get captured, right? Where you can just be right back in
It's
there.
just like
again.
it's like the background, right?
Mhm.
All right, well, let's see. There's a lot of good ones here. How about this? Yosemite backcountry while backpacking it with my brother. Temperature hit 14 degrees.
What?
We're not planning that.
Surprise!
good stuff.
You're freezing.
Laura, the beach in Florida, always beautiful.
Aw,
She is
yeah.
not wrong. She's not wrong.
It's just simple beauty down there.
Ginger on the swing with my mom and dad.
Aw.
Sometimes it's the little things,
That's cool.
All right, well, keep
It's
those
gonna be
coming
hard
in.
to
We're
pick.
gonna pick one at the end here, and then we'll be in
Let
touch.
you know.
We'll announce next week who the winner is. Just a reminder. Whoops. No. Sorry about that.
Ooh, a preview.
Premature. Just a reminder. Those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Those of you who've been here, came here after it's been a while, welcome back. Those of you who are here every week, we love having you. Check us out. We're going to be back again next Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. It'll be kind of a calm before the storm. I know a lot of people have busy weeks, busy Thanksgiving. So if you need a little time after prepping turkey and stuffing and you need a little break, come check us out at 7:45 p.m. Wednesday night next week. I'll be coming off of a little bit of a retreat.
Yes.
So I don't know
first
what
one in a year.
I don't know
right?
what I'll be chill. I'll
It'll
be chill
so
next week.
chill. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
To see where you come back as, what kind of person you come back as.
Have a
He's
beard,
going back up to
big
Door
beard.
County for a couple of days, which is important to take some time away.
Yes.
So, be good.
Again, the auction is live. There are bids happening. You can go to escapeadulthood.com/gallery night to check that out. We will be posting the film up there shortly and on our website. Hope you can check it out. Reminder, it will close in 4 days? So at end of the weekend. End of the weekend it closes. Most of the things, almost all the things are one-offs, so we're not planning on selling them on our store.
And for those of you who are looking for the prints that we showed, the canvas prints and the limited edition prints, those are on our lemonade stand, which is just, you go to escapeadulthood.com and you'll find shop at the top.
And
so
there's
those
a banner
are
on the homepage with all the new stuff. So if you're joining us new, if you're not already an escapeadulthood.com insider, what are you waiting for? We do all kinds of cool things. If you want to find out the next time we do something cool like tonight, become an insider at escapeadulthood.com/insider.
Yes.
But I think that's it.
I think it is. And one
a-
more little call. As you know, after now seeing Jason's film, this is a pretty powerful story. It's such a gift to me and the kids for him to put it in such a artistic representation. I don't know how many times people have asked us, especially in the homeschool group that we're in, oh, what brought you to Sheboygan? How'd you get to Sheboygan? I'm like, oh,
kind of a long story.
How do you even start this story? So like I said, it's such a gift, and I hope it's a gift to you, and maybe you can gift this same story to someone else by just sharing the replay, maybe sharing the link with a little note to say, this might be worth a watch, right? So, and we know people are busy, but we also know that we watch half-hour junk all the time. So this half hour is well worth the investment, and maybe it'll just light that little spark back up, that one that might have been faded a little bit. So just a small invitation to you.
Yeah, and thank you for that in advance. That is it for the show, you guys. Hopefully we'll see you next week, but until next time, Adultitis Fighters.
Shine on, spread whimsy, and be awesome.